All right, we're back. We got one from Obanai by Mini Katana. It's the Obanai sword. There's some specs, up close looks, and I'm going to attempt cut testing with this blade. So I asked for this one. Let's go through first impressions on it. First and foremost, it has this white and purple wrap on it, and the handle's flat. This thing is retailing for $189, so keep that in context. This is also going to be featured as a comparison for the Katana review I'm going to do from lowest price point to medium, all the way up into high price point. So this one will be featured as well, and look for the cut testing at the end of this video. So let's do first impressions on it. It is a full tang design. It is very reminiscent of a Filipino, or really specifically Indonesian or even Javanese kris. So if you look at Southeast Asian martial arts and swords and daggers as well, you're going to see this wavy type of blade. There's debate whether you can cut deeper with it. There's a lot of debate about it. It's usually primarily ceremonial, but the daggers themselves, which are quite shorter than this one, about like, probably like around that length, maybe like a 12 to 14 inch dagger, those are still carried even to this day. So I don't see a whole lot of these being carried. So I know this is more of in the fantasy type of realm, but I'm talking about the actual function and the item itself. So it's a thick blade. I did the cutting with it. The edge is not super sharp, so I would like to see this be a sharper edge, especially when I can do this. It's supposed to be in the katana category. I had to put quite a lot of force into the cut, even just to get that. I think I did an upward cut on it, just to like punch it up. It can be done, but just keep that in mind. This is going to be something more of a collector's item, and something that if you're into swords like this from this category, probably going to be something you hang up on a wall. It would look really cool, upside down on a wall if you get a hanger for it, or even if you had it on a sword stand, safely displayed out of the scabbard. Don't really see how that could be a big deal with that. Actually, I said scabbard, I mean sheath, because this is a leather sheath this comes with. It's stitched, it's thick. It works. There's a back strap if you did want to carry this for some reason. I'm not condoning that you do, but if you did choose to carry this for whatever reason, then you have it as an option. Slides in nicely. It's just a big old leather sheath, guys. Nothing really that crazy about it. Draws fine. Doesn't scratch it anymore or anything like that. And yeah, so this is my first impressions on it. It's more forward heavy, so I know this is supposed to be in the fantasy category, but it doesn't feel terrible, even for it being like kind of a weird, kind of wacky design. I did ask them to send me it, so it is, it is me asking that because I want something a little bit different for you guys to see as well. So let's do some up close looks of this one in the sheath and out of the sheath. Overall length 38 3/8 inches, blade length 27 9/16. The weight is 2 pounds 1 ounce, where the edge is moderately sharp. The width is 31.8 millimeters with a thickness of 6.1 to 5 millimeters. There's no pommel. Point of balance 5 1/4 inches from the guard with a grip length of 9 1/2 inches. Blade steel is a 1045 high carbon steel. We're going to put this culture as fantasy/Japanese, manufactured by Mini Katana. All right, talking about cut testing with this one, I think I did one cut, a single cut on the upward line, and I had to hit the thing pretty freaking hard. So it is sharp to, I mean, if you were to use this, back in the day, probably would have done okay. I wouldn't necessarily bring this to a sword duel, but I'm going to put this more in the collectors and unique type of category rather than thinking about something you would duel with. So let's take a look at the single cut with the Obanai sword by Mini Katana. It took like a massive amount of force. All right, that's it for the Obanai sword by Mini Katana. This is definitely one of the weirder things that I've reviewed. I don't know if I've done the kris sword from TFW Weapons before in the past. I used to own one and then I sold it. But you're going to see, Javanese, Indonesian, and Filipino swords. Ceremonial swords primarily. Some of the daggers are obviously, like I said, like in Silat, Indonesian martial arts, you're going to see the kris used. So just kind of a interesting crossover, I guess you could say. tried the cut testing with it, got that one cut. That's pretty much what I got to say about it. If you want to add something unique to your collection, or you want to buy somebody a cool gift and not break the bank, you may want to pick one of these up. Click the link in the description below this video to buy this one today. I'm your host Tom for Kult of Athena's YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, follow us on TikTok and on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next review.